Kia ora, Senior Huntley students. Today I'm going to take you through some of the fundamental aspects of engaging in theatre sports competitions, improvisation games, and I'm doing it on the video. So I'll see how we go. I'd also like to cut this in with some videos of what I imagine is a great performance of the game. So I'll see what I can find online later so you know exactly what we're doing. As with all the classes, we're likely to start with some relaxation, breathing, agility, projection work before we launch into the games themselves, and some of the things you can concentrate on in each game in order to enhance the performance outcomes. Yeah, so let's start with, I'm going to run over some relaxation and breathing exercises from our past 3 weeks of working for those who had cycling and things and who missed it. Okay, so week 6. Right, so if you stand comfortably, you want your shoulders relaxed, your feet shoulder width apart, nice and relaxed. Now when we're breathing in, when we're inhaling, we want to imagine the picture in your head, it's not actually happening, that you're filling up your, from the bottom of your stomach all the way up, filling that all up with air. If you can imagine that, it's going to enhance opportunity to get as much air in as you can. And we're going to take a deep intake and we're going to make a ha sound out. So it would look like this. Ha! And we do it again. Ha! Great. And don't be shy of letting that ha out. Yeah, it's relaxing as well as good for all the mechanisms. Let's try again, a deep breath in, filling up the hole, your chest will expand, and we're going to do a semi-snake S sound out for as long as you can. Now these exercises, breathing properly, as you'll find in life sometimes, if you're a bit nervous about some things or feeling a bit frightened, just concentrating on breathing can alleviate much of that tension that you can otherwise carry. So we're going to breathe in deep, filling up our lungs with air, and we're going to semi-snake out for as long as you can. You can practice that at night. If you like as well, anytime, seeing if you can expand on it. If you got to 24 yesterday, seeing if you can get to 26 tonight, as much as you can make of it. I think professional singers can semi-snake for a long while. When you're making this sound, certainly there's a way of expelling air, like a where you can actually feel the air coming out. What you want to do with it, if you hold your finger up to your mouth and feel that, all you'll feel is like slight little warmth, slight damp warmth upon your finger, nothing more. That's the way of you doing this one. All right, so we'll relax, feet shoulder width apart, relax shoulders, and we'll take a deep breath in and semi-snake out. Ready? At 24. So you can keep working on that, keep working on expanding how much you've got in. Certainly in public speaking, all performance actually, in order to give credence to the message, to the lines that have been given you on a scripted piece of performance. You don't want to have to stop mid-breath for a sharp intake of breath because you've run out midway. So always good to practice those. Now, week 7's, week 8. All right, let's practice some relaxation activities. Again, relaxing the body. You'll find if your core is all really tense and nervous, and your nerves are, I can't say nerves aren't bad in performance. Sometimes that sparkle, that energy that is derived from nervous energy is fantastic to see on the stage, because live performance is just something so tangible about it. So I'm not saying try and rid yourself entirely of nerves. Nerves can work for you, but if you're feeling it all tense, and especially up through your throat, good to just do a couple of breathing activities. You can just do a in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, like such. Relaxed, because if it's really nervous, and sometimes it can strain the production of the voice. So as much as possible, try and relax, but use that energy, use that nervous energy if you can. So let's write our name in the air with our, this is my right hand, but it looks like your left, either or. Write your name in the air. Great. Try it again with your left foot. Great. Left hand. And right foot. Great. And now we want to reach up upon the shelf above you. And on that shelf above you is a jar. I want you to reach up and take the jar off. And you're going to unscrew the lid of the jar, and inside the jar is the most amazing smell you have ever smelt in the entire world. Might be Daphne or jasmine or chocolate or something. All right, so take the lid off. Ready? Lovely. Try it again. Just imagine it. Imagine that smell. Very pleasant feeling imagination. Right, screw the lid back on the jar and pop the jar back up on the shelf. Excellent, excellent. Let's do a tone of voice. We're going to say the phrase, we're going to say the phrase, give me that, and I'm going to give you a tone of voice in which to say it. So if I said, so give me that, and I want you to say it in a sad voice. Give me that. Good. In a scared voice. Try give me that in a scared voice. Give me that. God, it's different, isn't it? It sounds different. Right, bossy voice. like petulant. Give me that. Indignant. Oh, wait. Indignant. Give me that. How about in a somber voice? Give me that. Let's try it in a happy voice. Give me that. Let's try it in a frustrated voice. Give me that. And you'll notice on each tone of voice, that's what they say, tone of voice. If you're imparting a message, delivering a message to people, the tone of the voice carries as much weight as the words selected. And always in your performances, be wary of that. And in theatre sports, I always think if you're coming on as a particular type of character, give them an emotion. Think age, occupation, and an emotion. There's nothing. Nothing beats seeing a character instantly come on, and you know they feel ashamed, like coming on as the shamed character, coming on as the grumpy character, coming on as the always buoyant, bubbly character. Tired. Give me that in a tired voice. Give me that. Or bored. And the difference between tired and bored. Give me that. I mean, the energy is held almost. Anyway, tone of voice, really important to think about when you're adopting a particular character on stage and live improvisation things. Great. We could do the one where we do speak a few words in a particular manner. So one would be to speak a few words to someone as if you're offering sympathy. So they've experienced some trauma or difficulty and you're offering some words of sympathy. It's a different voice. So you might say, I heard what you were going through, and can I just say that, like, my whole family, we feel that with you. If you need any help, we'll be there. Different. What about giving an order? Like, as young people, it's not often that you get to give an order, and an order, of course, being polite, always good. But an order has a very direct, you'll notice the snip, the cut on the consonants at the end. Giving an order, there's a particular tone of voice. Sit down. No, so probably shouldn't do it 3 times. Like, one order, one time, one order. Everybody stand. Line up in a straight line facing me. Make me a cheese sandwich. Yeah, an ordering voice. What about a congratulatory voice? That was brilliant. That you were really good. Congratulations. It really was. It was excellent. That was excellent. Wicked. That's so good. Yeah. It's got a nice light. There's a lift at the end of the words. Yeah, congratulatory voice. All right, let's move on to agility. I'll just read out a few phrases which you can practice at home. So, will you walk a little faster, said the whiting to the snail. There's a porpoise close behind us and it's treading on my tail. "Will you walk a little faster?" said the whiting to the snail. "There's a porpoise close behind us and it's treading on my tail." Wait. She shot the shepherd in the shoulder. She shot the shepherd in the shoulder. "Quick, catch and kick the ball. Quick, catch and kick the ball." He parked the car close to the cliff. He parked the car close to the cliff. The door down the corridor slammed. The door down the corridor slammed. And this one has got for your jaw. "Hurrah, hurrah, I'm going fast. Hurrah, hurrah, I won't be last. Make the most of your tongue and your jaw." In that one. "Hurrah, hurrah, I'm going fast. Hurrah, hurrah, I won't be last." Never worry about extending that space. Right, let's go into some warm-up games. Thinking about theatre sports, thinking about how to entertain a crowd. You could, it's always good with performance to have a think about to whom you are performing. That may, the audience could alter the body you choose, the language that you use, and the type of comedy that you think would be appropriate. Certainly if we were going in to perform theatre sports at like a junior school, like with wee kids, we would be careful we weren't using like words all with like 6 syllables. And we would do a fair amount of slapstick, like they don't, that's quite funny to do a trip over, or you drop something on the floor. The little ones would love it, and a great costume. And if we were performing to, say, a group of highly educated university professors, there might be, I don't know. It may alter like the structure of the story which we tell. In what way? So when we were doing this at school, we were thinking we were going to perform it for the gathered boarders, in which case we were thinking about, in terms of entertainment, what would they like? And I think it was Ben who was offering comedy. They would like to laugh. So making something funny. And there's that clowning technique of the absurd, where the problem occurs, all drama has a problem. Once we've introduced the characters, then the problem arises. But in clowning, the solution that the clowns think of straight away for the solution to the problem makes it worse. And then someone else, another clown comes in, "Oh, fix that up. Oh, it's worse again." So on and so on. So what ends up happening is it becomes this big culmination of chaos in order to solve the problem, and then usually that scene finishes up where whatever the solution could have been at the very outset was very, very simple. Shut the door. And yet, the clowns have knocked down walls and there's paint everywhere, and someone's, fallen over a million times. So entertainment for Huntley boarders or people of your own age, comedy and doing silly things. But I can't say that 100%. I like a little drama that might move me in some way. Mind you, I'm not a child, but you know what I mean. Like, you could come on like stark or scared, and there could be a little drama unwind around that, the dark night, something like that. Yeah, so it doesn't always have to be highly funny. Though normally in that scene, if you've got one character in that body which is frightened and frightened, stiff, and in a space which is unknown, it's likely someone is going to come on and do something funny to counter that. So yeah. So know your audience. If it's entertainment, pure fun entertainment, theatre sports does tend to be fun more often than not. Yeah, more often than not. You've got to have a go with it. Can you remember we were doing those making up a song? Oh, loved it. So that's a game that, I don't know, and you can play it. You can play it with your family. Give them a genre. Give them a genre. Right, you guys have to make up, and an object. You guys have got 30 seconds, put them in groups of 3. You guys have got 30 seconds to come up with a country tune about flowers. And give them 30 seconds to come up with the beat. Or they've got to make up a rap song about books. Yeah. And then if you have groups of 3, someone does a beat. Someone might do the backup vocals, so repeat the repeated phrase. Come up with a motif, some kind of a theme, key line in it. But that's quite a good one to do. And then think about the different genres of music that there are. It could be like a children's lullaby, are we going to sleep song. Country works well. Pop, high pop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Could be Disney. Disney could well be a theme. Could be something like a grunge, or I don't know if you want to do a heavy metal, something like that. I don't know. But that's quite a good game. It's quite a good game you could play with your families as well, but making up a song. I wasn't going with that one. Right, this is a game called Threesome. This is a great warm-up activity. In this game, you can have a minimum of 3 characters. Again, you could play this one at home with your families. And someone just jumps up. I don't know, you have to jump. You jump into the space and you say, I am a something or other. And then the second one has to come on and say, I am a, and has to be related to the first. So second thing, and the third one has to bring in something else. So an item related to that first. And it should be a noun. So I am a. For instance, you could say, I am a cup. I am tea. I am scone. Something. And then the third one starts. I am a bucket. I am a brush. I am here. Ooh. Related to the second and not the first. It should be related to the first. That one will get knocked out. So I am a. It's easy wee game. It's just a nice one to and try. If you're the first one in, why not try doing it a little difficult? I am pickles. And people, I am onion. I am tamarind. Yeah. You can do that anyway. Like another game we've played. That would be a warm-up activity. Another one we've played is the good, bad, and ugly advice. And this is quite a nice one. You could play with your families over the holiday period as well. So everyone involved thinks of a problem. It could be a real problem. For instance, I'm not sure what to get my dad for Christmas. Or it could be a made-up problem, like I've never liked the fact that the grass is green. I don't like green. And then the movement trots around the circle. This is me trying to do the space. So the game starts, and one person is going to start and share their problem, and the next person in the group from them is going to give them some good advice. And it has to be good advice, like what perhaps a counsellor might say if someone presented with that problem in their studio, or really good, decent advice that like a teacher or a parent might say to someone who came to them with that problem. The next person along is going to give them bad advice. what you shouldn't say to someone who came to you with that problem. You can go for gold on that one. Yeah, bad advice. The next one is ugly advice. Ugly is a terrible word. We could call it really, really bad advice. So what you utterly never ever should say to anyone ever if they presented to you with that problem. This is quite a nice game for exploring the things. There's often life things you shouldn't say and share, but in drama sometimes we make that allowance. So good, bad, and ugly advice. For instance, if I do my I don't know what to buy my father for Christmas problem, the good advice person might share something like, well, I know a website called Great Gifts for Fathers. You could look that up and see if there's something on there that he might like. Oh, I'd be like, oh, brilliant, thank you. Bad advice might be, meh, you know, just go into your room and find something you don't want anymore. That'll do. And really, really, really bad might be, who cares about Christmas? Never like Christmas. I reckon don't buy anyone anything. Stay at home. Ignore the family. I hate Christmas. Yeah. So good, bad, and ugly advice. That's quite a nice wee game to play if you've got some people over or family. I don't know. Yeah, good, bad, and ugly advice. Another game that we've played is Park Bench. Now, Park Bench may work in front of a junior audience. I don't know if it has enough of drama to it to sustain the interest for long periods of time with maybe an adult audience, but with a junior audience it can. And it goes like this. So you'd have like two chairs sort of set up, and you'd have someone sitting here, neutral chair, just sitting in the park on a park bench, neutral. And then the character who's coming in, what you have to do is gift the character on the neutral chair a particular type of character, and you use your words to do so. When you're thinking so, you could think occupation. So you could give them a particular type of occupation, like, oh, my mechanic, that's so great to see you, my car's broken down over there. And in gifting the character, whomever's in the neutral chair and the game swaps around has to instantly become that character. You could give them someone famous, like a famous person they might know. So you might run on and go, oh, Elsa, you're like my favorite film star. And suddenly the person must be fresh, must become Elsa. Santa! Oh my goodness, I've been waiting so long to meet you. Oh, great, come and sit down. What would you like for Christmas? Oh. You could Donald Trump. You could give them Donald Trump, Spider-Man. So someone famous. You can also gift them a particular member of your family. So you might go, Grandmama. Person has to become Grandmama. Hello, my darling. Oh, you look grown up, don't you? Oh, I like your skirt. Come and have a sit up here. You could make them someone, especially if you're performing to a particular audience where if there are teachers. What I would advise not to do is to make an outright mockery of someone. So you don't want to you know, always in drama there's that point of kindly imitation, but not to the point where the character you're gifting, if they're in the audience, would be offended. So you don't want to. I just think that's good manners. So you can make him someone you know. Oh my goodness, my best friend. hey, shall we go to the mall later? Yeah, so gifting the character in the neutral chair, and then once that person's gifted and this person's acted upon it, then the person that came in with the gift of the character sits upon neutral chair, and the next person comes in to gift the character. I think what an audience would find funny about this game is if the offer is a really great, the offer is a really great one that they can get their teeth into, and it's an active one. Sometimes if it's if the character's a little dull, it becomes difficult. But anyway, whatever you're gifted, you just accept the character. It's a really great one for offering and accepting, which in theatre sports is probably one of the most key ideas. Is if you walk onto the stage and someone's already on stage and they say, "Oh my goodness, it's that old woman with one leg," you suddenly, hello. Yeah, you just suddenly be it. You may not have wanted to come on as the old woman with one leg, but if that's a gift offered, like endowments, it's the gift given, then be it. And I think in that way the audience would really respond well to it as well. That the offering and accepting. Remember that no blocking idea when we were doing theatre sports? It's challenging on stage to watch someone go, "No, I'm not doing that. No, not doing that." We've got to shake that off. No blocking. We just accept. And in this environment, it should always be that we're thinking about not gifting a character about whom the person having to become that person would be offended by. Yeah. Can you remember that other game? I'll get onto it now too, so you can practice that at home. Called Scary, Funny, Smelly. We could play Scary, Funny, Smelly, Popular if there's five, or Scary, Funny, Smelly if there's 4 of you. And that's a game whereby you nominate one of the persons present as the party host, and then the other 3 or 4 line up by the pretend door. We'll go into pretending spaces soon as well, and using the space. And the host of the party is the one who determines whom is going to be which character out by the door. So they in their brain might go, right, I'm going to make Sarah's going to be Smelly, Simon's going to be funny, scary, smelly. So you nominate each one. Now the gift of this game, and I think it could work well in the audience, is like, obviously we do popular sometimes as well. Can you remember when we've done popular before? Like the people lined up by the door will not know who they are, so the host won't tell them whom they are before they get there. The very first time, again, it's an endowment, it's a gift. The very first time they will know which character they are is when the host opens the door. And by the host's mere reaction to them, that's when they will be able to ascertain which character they are. So for example, someone knocks on the door, and the host is going, I'm gonna make this one scary. Open the door. It might run away. Great. So then that person would know they were scary, and they're going to come and be the scary guy. I don't know. Sometimes scary people can just walk normally. Have a scary face. I don't know. If they were smelly, what do you think their reaction might be? Host open the door, someone really smelly standing there. Come in. Oh, I've got the window open. Oh, goodness. Come this way. Just open the window up. Oh, we just put the aircon on. Oh, I've got some perfume over here. And then that person who's being the smelly one, it was always the smelly one that never wants to be the smelly one. But they give me the smelly one. Lovely. Woo, yeah. I've been out running this morning, and then I went to the gym for hours. Yeah. Oh, no, I showered last year. I had a shower at some stage, probably after I was in the sea for 3 days surfing. Yeah, woohoo! Washing machine, what's a washing machine? So own it. If you're given the smelly character, own it as well. Don't be scared of being the character that everyone's like, ugh. Great! It's a great opportunity to show your skills. So smelly, scary, funny. Now, if you're the funny one, the funny thing is, you might not even need to be funny, except the host will keep thinking you're hilarious. So open the door, and you might stand there and say, hi, waiting for your gift. The gift should take about 4 seconds. Within about 4 seconds, you should exactly know whom you are. And if you're real funny, you're so good. Come on. Oh. I love how you're walking. That's so good. Where did you? Oh. You want a drink? Oh, that's so funny. You crack me up. Or whatever they do, they might sit on the chair. You sit down, so funny. Right. And the popular one, you imagine a really popular person coming to the party. Oh my goodness, you came. Great, come on, get off the chair, get off the good chair. Come and sit on here. Would you like something to eat or drink? Oh wait, I've just got my phone here. Oh, we have a little picture. Neat, all right. No, just a quick, no, okay, no, cool. Doesn't matter. Come and have a seat. Wait, oh yeah, would you like some cake? No, it doesn't matter. We can do, I can get you a piece now. Yeah, so really popular, and you know, they would have that cool, you know, oh yeah. No, I don't know. Whatever, but yeah, scary, funny, smelly, popular also can work in front of an audience, and that's a fun way just to also offer and accept, no blocking, up taking the role, whatever you're gifted. And the gift, so it's the challenge is upon the host to make sure that the people coming in know exactly whom they are at almost 3 seconds, probably, not even 4. 4 may be slightly too long. 1, 2, 3, and they exactly know whom they are. And a variation on that game, which could also work, is a game called Who's at Your Party? That's a lovely one. You could start it possibly with occupation. Same kind of concept where there's a host of a party. But in this instance, it's the guests arriving who know what occupation they have, what job they have, and then it's up to the party host to name once they've guessed. For instance, if someone comes to the party and they've decided they're going to be a ballerina, so they knock on the door, host doesn't know, so opens the door, and then the ballerina would have to go, no, I don't know. Do you like my pirouette? And like instantly the party host will go, oh great, it's my friend the ballerina, come on in. If you're going to be a police officer, hi, I'm just here to check. Someone across the road complained of noise. Oh no, that would be sound control, isn't it? No. I'm just here to check. Is this the residence of, you know, J. Peters? Fantastic, fantastic. No, I've just put that in with my Latin? I don't know. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult when you're not quite sure. What would be a key thing a police officer might say? Anything you say or do could be taken down or used in court, something like that. Or hands up. Just joking, I'm off duty. Something like that. You could make them a doctor. Doctor's nice to do. Or not the host doesn't make them, sorry, the people outside the door could pretend to be a doctor. You're looking a bit open. Oh no, that would be a dentist. Open wide would be good for a dentist, wouldn't it? A little bit of and the doctor would be, okay, just got my bag of stuff, I'll just put it here. Right, how's that feeling? Can you feel that when I do that? gardener, clown. You could be like a lion tamer. Get down, Zumba. Anything, but so that's called Who's at Your Party. And then the host must say, oh, like it's my friend the mechanic. Oh, Susan the clown. Fantastic. So pleased you could come and have a seat. Great. So that's that derivation. Right. One line scene. That's another game you can play. This is a challenging one. In one line scene, there's one specific line of dialogue, and that is the only one that can be used. Now this scene, this can sometimes tend to fall. It can fall flat because there's only one line of dialogue that any of the characters are allowed to say, just one. And in order to pick it up so that the audience don't get too bored by it, do character. Always in drama, always in theatre sports, come on as a character. You could be, like when we play that hotel game, remember when you've got the person who owns the hotel and the guests come on as a particular character. And I always think your three key drivers, if you can't think of anything else, should be age. You wouldn't think so, but a teenager gives well, not in all cases, this is drama. A teenager has different behaviours, perspective on the world than like an elderly person, or someone like a mother age, or a youngster. Yeah. It can be a bit, yeah. So age and occupation, and emotional driver. So those three key things can drive this scene, one line scene. So think, if you have an opportunity to discuss backstage before you take the scene on, sometimes you don't, as in Space Jump, you just got to use whatever physical freeze has been offered. And drama's such a key way. Your brain has to work so quick sometimes to interpret, and go with your first thought. That's another, yeah, go with what jumps into your mind. And even if you think later, I should have done something else because that would have been so much better. Doesn't matter. For all intent purposes, go with whatever jumps into your brain first, using that physical. So one line scene, if you get an opportunity to discuss backstage, do the combatant of characters, like I'll be the dopey nurse. What's that? I'll go and try. Dopey nurse versus a really smart, like super intelligent computer programmer. Oh, just leave that to me. I can get that done. What? Sorry, did you speak? I'm sorry. Versus someone really energetic. Someone just always likes to yell. I can run. I can do that. So think, always think opposing characters, which in just by nature are likely to cause the conflict, which all drama must have some kind of conflict. So think of that when you're devising a scene. So one line scene will work best if you've pre-thought a type of character. If there's no pre-thought, come on as someone particular. Think age, occupation and emotion. If everyone else is on stage and they are hyperactive, or if everyone else is on stage and they're already buoyant, come on, sad. I can't. Or shy. I love a shy on stage. And one line scene is challenging. So the phrase given may be something upon the lines of, wait, I'll have a look. The one line may be, like, whereabouts is Tony? And that could be the only phrase allowed to be spoken through the whole way. And remembering that there are so many things we can say non-verbally, like, thank you. Look out! Get down! oh, I feel sick. Or, ow, I hit my knee. Or, no, absolutely not. Or, I mean, yes. Like, and even like, I wonder where I put that, like this. I don't know. Oh, so many things. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm a bit thirsty. Like, wow, the light is bright. I'm too sad. Oh, you could, yeah, there are so many things we can communicate non-verbally. And this is a great scene in order to play upon those things, like to use them all. Don't be like, oh, yeah, one-line scene. It's a good one. See if you can do it for 1 minute, 2 minutes. There's a phrase given. That's the only one allowed to be uttered. See if you can create a wee scene. And remember, in all drama, there must be a point of conflict or tension in the drama. If the drama continued on, everyone was great in the morning. They had some great breakfast. And then they went to school and it was a great day. And maths was great. And they had a really great play at morning tea with their friends, and then yeah, and English was great, and the reading was great. It was a great story, and then we did art in the afternoon. The art was really great. We did some woodwork. It was great, and then like Mum came and picked me up, which was lovely. My brother was there. That was really nice, and then we drove home, and that was really nice. And then I played on the trampoline for a wee bit. It was great. And I had some afternoon tea, which was really yummy. And then my nana came over, and so we chatted with her. That was really nice. And then we had some dinner, and Mum cooked the dinner, and Gran helped with the dinner, and that was really nice. And then I did some homework, which was really nice. And then I watched a wee bit of TV, which was great. And then I went to sleep, which was really great. Yeah, at some point, create something. At some point, there must be some point of conflict. More often than not, it's between characters. Sometimes it can be, if you're having to be individual, like in Space Jump, between a character and their environment. I was going to talk about environments, which I'll talk about just quickly. How long have I been talking? Oh, just about. We're right. More often than not in theatre sports, it's an open stage. Sometimes we play games with props. Prop games are fun. But more often than not, it's a big blank open space. Now, what we must remember is if you can envision what is within the space, if you're thinking of it and you allow that to be, like there to have been the table there, you walk around it in order to get to the other side, then if you always think about it and imagine it and that it is true, the audience will as well. Like if you could imagine just like pretending to eat a bicky, and then at some people might actually would see you and think, oh, she is eating something, because you imagined it, that you were, and it became. So if you're holding a hairbrush and you're doing your hair, which is great, people can totally tell that you're doing that. Remember that it doesn't drop into thin air. Ooh, where's the hairbrush gone? That you then must, once you've done it and you're continuing on the scene, put it on the pretend table. Whoops. So don't let made things fall into space. That things allowed always are. Can you remember that game called Environments, which we've played sometimes, where you, in front of you, just imagine a huge rectangle, like the size of a room, and one by one, so everyone lines up, and one by one they come into the space, and they come in, so the first person on imagines they work out how you do the doors. You know, a door in an imagined space is a very particular and important thing. It has to always be in the same place. Like, you will notice if someone's put the door like here, if then the next person comes in and they're opening the door over here, people will be like, it's not real. And people want to sustain sustain their imagination or their belief in what you're creating. So do make sure the door is in the same place. And people can do like a barn door styles, or a turn the handle and push. Some people do like a buzz code, beep, 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 or a hand, eye scan or retina scan. Some people like to do a karate chop. There's a particular way of handling the door. But anyway, first person in works out how to get into the room. Mine's simply going to be a turn to the right handle at about my midsection, and I push the door, and the door swings open that way, and I step in, and then I close the door behind me. Remember, you want it to close in the same space exactly where it was before. And then into the open, clear, big rectangular space. Each person coming on puts one item. So into the space, and we could determine it was we normally do a room in, like, within a house. So it could be a living room, a bathroom, a bedroom, a garage, kitchen, the living room area, the lounge room, whatever. And then everyone puts one thing. So sometimes people can put elephants into the room. Totally fine. But you've got to, if you're bringing your elephant in, you've got to like show everyone the dimensions of the elephant and the width. Oh, there's lovely Timbra. Oh, she's a lovely big elephant, you would say. And you would pat her out so everyone could see. Oh, it's a big long trunk here. Oh, she's all the way around here. This is her, all the way over here. And then you've got to, careful of Timbra. And then you trot to the other side of the rectangle, and they will show you how to exit out. So there's a door on this side, there's a door on that side. Everyone comes through and puts one thing into the environment. And as they do so, everyone else who also enters in afterwards must allow that thing that was just put in there exists. So if someone's just put a big table in the middle of the room, you can't walk through the table. People can't walk through the table. People go, oh, careful, table. Oh, there's a kitten. Oh, yeah. So everything is allowed to be. And you can put whatever into the room. I have had situations where people have put bombs in the last rounds, exploded everything. And there's been deep pits of lava in rooms. Anyway. Yeah, in the middle of bedrooms. But that's quite a fun game to play. And explore space as well. You can get good drama where everyone stands upright in one position and they talk. Sometimes it could be necessary. For the most part, don't be scared of going low. Be down there. Crawling on the ground. I mean, I love a crawling on the ground. I love an upright. I love an even higher. I love an even higher. So you can do whatever you like. Yeah, you can do. You can be however you like. Sorry, my daughter was just leaving. Whatever. Using lots of different levels when you're acting. Really lovely. What's another game? Oh, Flash Forward. Now I taught that within the last 3 weeks, so some will have seen it, some may not have. But Flash Forward is another great game because it also involves the audience. So you have some characters come on and establish a scene. And remember, different characters and what's the point of conflict. Someone's got something, someone wants it, there's a problem, there's a mountain standing within the way of instantly being exactly at the place where the characters want to be. There is a point of conflict, and there should be in all drama. And in Flash Forward, so if you have that 30 seconds off stage to determine whom you're going to be, remember to go opposite characters. I'll be like a super intelligent 4. I'll be a mechanically minded sculptor. In my 20s, I'll be like a sassy teenager. So create the characters whereby almost interestingly, there's going to be a bit of conflict there anyway of who's going to be the boss, that status driven thing. So the characters are given, sometimes they might be given an environment, they might ask the audience for a location. So they're given a location and then they work out who they're going to be. And then they start a little drama off. Now, at any point they like, and we would have told the audience up front, someone in the audience can call out, flash forward, in which case everyone has to jump forward a certain amount of time. Now that is determined by, it may happen where you may get two characters instantly say, whoa, now it's December and we're 2 years older. Oh, digging this hole is much harder. Or someone may instantly coach over like, oh, sorry, I'm sure I had my bag was around here somewhere. Now I can't see. Old age. So, or you could flash forward a matter of a couple of hours to whatever was unfolding in the scene. It may be after the scene, like what happens next. I love the what happens next. So flash forward, that's a good game to play. You could try that at home, try that over the summer. Flash forward. What else have I got? We haven't got long. Zoom in, zoom out. That might be quite good in front of an audience. I just touched on it a second ago, but I thought I might go over it too, the idea of status. Excuse me a second. I don't know if it's true in real life, but particularly in drama and drama games, status can be, status is a thing. So how important is that character to the overall structure of the story? For instance, in Cinderella, your status 1 character, the character with the highest status is Cinderella. Second status in Cinderella, probably the fairy godmother. And it's not always that your highest status characters, no, I was going to say, yes, your highest status character is very much likely to be titled for the show in most of the scenes. Your second status character could either be like the sidekick of your main character or the other person upon whom the protagonist. So it could be your fairy godmother. It could actually be the the evil stepmom. The stepsisters are likely a status 3. Their importance to the show, they're there. If they weren't there at all, the show could be reasonably similar. It's almost a status 4, but a status 4 in Cinderella might be the wee governor who brought around the glass slipper, the Prince Charming. 2, he'd be a 2. He could almost be a 3 because whilst the plot structure of the story was to win the affection of the Prince Charming. And Cinderella's father, whom was there at the outset, and her wanting to, and the mum as well. I know they were absent, but they would be a 3 in terms of in real life. Certain places also have a particular type of status within them. That's just the way it is. And I like to think that actually in our ways of being a community and working with people, that status isn't something that drives us. The people are all are of the same import, but within certain organisations. So if you're thinking of a hospital theatre, your Oh, I was going to say surgeon might be first, might be anaesthetist. Or patient. Does a patient have the highest status? Hard to say. But the one with the most import. And you know the highest status characters, more often than not, upright. I mean, Cinderella did spend lots of time on the ground. Upright, and they're not overly active. So a high status character may have like a number 2 who's doing that, like I'll go and get the stuff, and we'll go and move this over there, who works in partnership with the main status character to make things happen. We could play that game Card Status. Have we played that before? Where you get the king, and the king on the card can be either the king or the queen, depending who gets it. And they are they're like in a castle, they'd be high status. If it were in a swimming pool, and the king or queen of a swimming pool could be the complex owner, is likely to be like the king or queen, the one who makes the ultimate decisions. Or if it's managed by a council, could be like, I don't know, the mayor. And then you have the jack. So the jack, the prince or the princess in the kingdom scenario are like a floaty, dreamy, searching for something that's out of their reach, but quite high status. Like really, they're second. They're second to the king or the queen, and that's the prince or the princess, the jack. It's lovely over here. And whilst they're allowed within the vicinity of the king or the queen and to do what they like to do. They are less concerned, I think, with the giving of the orders. And then you have the number 10. And the number 10 tends to be the third status. King or queen higher, prince or princess second status. The 10. Now the 10 would be a well-educated, high-status employee of the royal court. So they might be your lawyer or your doctor. And sometimes, though, remember this is just in drama, it's weird. They tend to be a bit, like, get out of my way, like, you've missed a spot on the floor, to the servants, to the lower status peoples. And that's your number 10, so your doctor or your lawyer. They're imagining like they're like totally high status, but of course you've got the prince or the princess and the king or the queen, whom are higher. Anyway, but they're a bit rude to the staff. And they kind of walk around, and then you have the number 3. The number 3 is the servant. Don't ever be scared of being 3. They're low to the ground, and they're cleaners often, with Shakespearean dramas, your 3 would be like Ophelia's maid. But don't think that those characters haven't had a hand in twisting the whole outcome of the entire story. So number 3 is always there, listening. No one knows they're there. The king will be talking, he might be talking to the lawyer, or the queen will be talking to the lawyer, and number 3 will be there. And then they might go and report something to the prince or the princess because they've just overheard, I'm talking about something like that. So low to the ground and quick, moving around, low. Number 3. And the other one is the Joker. And a lot of programs have the Joker, especially if they're drama based, so just for a bit of light relief. I don't know why I'm thinking Frozen, but in Frozen, remember there was Olaf, who was like just a funny character to make it a bit lighter. Yeah, people have a laugh. And a lot of those, a lot of dramas have that character who's a Joker. And in Shakespeare's day, he would, like the play within the play, when he would play to people's want and need to have a little bit of relief. Oftentimes those historical ones, that wasn't the funny one. But you know what I mean, like the diggers and the just for a laugh, just driving people for a laugh. And so the Joker on stage, again, employed person, reasonably low status, but always going for the laugh. So want to do a trip up, want to do some kind of a mess and chaos, and that's kind of how that works. Card status, that can work well in front of an audience. Oh, I feel like I've been talking for ages. 1 minute 5. What else can we finish with? I think, team, taking all that on board and your ability to encapsulate that. Don't be scared by making the choice to be a character that people would normally not like. That would be one thing. But play off each other. Play off each other in that situation. You may need status 1. And you may need, you could have, like, imagine playing a dopey, like a dopey status 1. I love it. Like dopey status 1. No, I've said send the troops to Italy. Yeah, but sir, the war's actually in Poland. But I said what I said, and I shan't say it again. I mean, you know, but play off the nature of the characters. If someone's already on stage, come in as someone who's instantly going to make things a bit more difficult. That would be my thought. Drama, create the conflict, create something happens. Try not to do that thing where people just run around, or always revert to like a punch up or a knife or a pretend gun fight. It can work sometimes, I just reckon. Drama and conflict sometimes is better, just a little more subtle. Yeah. Great. All right, and I will forward everything else off, and I'll send this out to everyone, and have a great future. All right, take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye.